taking a deuce, dropping a load, pinching a loaf, defecating, taking a crap, or bowel elimination. That's what our topic is about today, guys. Pooping, and why it's so extremely important for our health. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Today, our topic is about pooping. Why is this topic so taboo? Is it because it's embarrassing to talk about, or is it because people don't think it's very important? I'm here to tell you that it is extremely important to be on a regular pooping schedule. So that brings up question number one. How often should we poo? And that people ask me that all the time. How often should we poo it? My answer is 1 meal in, 1 meal out. So most people eat 3 meals a day. Optimally, we should be pooing 3 times a day. How is that possible? Most people poo once a day, maybe twice a day. Some people don't even go to the washroom every day. And what we need to realize is when we eat a meal, it goes through our digestive system and then it sits in our intestinal system. Now, if we don't eliminate that meal and then we have a second meal and now it goes through the intestinal system and lands on the first meal you had, now you have 2 meals inside your body that you haven't eliminated yet. Here comes the third meal. Now what's happening inside the system, it's becoming compacted, and this is where constipation can come from and bowel toxemia. So regular pooping, as you can tell, is extremely important for our health. Oh, but let's back up for a second. What exactly is poop? Poop is basically just the solid or semi-solid remains of food that wasn't broken down in the small intestinal system. But the most important thing we're going to talk about today, guys, is why it's so important to poop on a regular basis. Reason number one, when we poo regularly, the remains doesn't sit in the body long enough to create a toxic environment in our intestinal system. So if we eat food and we eliminate it quickly, that means the food didn't have time to rot in our intestinal system. Reason number two, if those remains or if the waste is sitting in the intestinal system too long, it'll feed the bad bacteria in the intestinal system, which creates more toxicity. That's where we can get allergenic symptoms. That's where we get an overabundance of yeasts. That's where we get skin complexion issues. The list goes on. And finally, number 3. Crap, what was number 3 again? Oh, right. And reason number 3 is if we're not eliminating properly, everything gets stored in the liver until our large intestines can eliminate it. What happens when your liver gets full? Everything stays in your bloodstream, and then it goes to your organs, it goes to your joints. That's where we can get arthritic pains. All of this stuff is connected, guys. So if we're pooping regularly, our livers can cleanse, our blood can stay clean, and our organs can stay healthy. Over the years of helping my clients, I discovered something. I discovered that all the people who had irregular bowel movements or constipation or pooing twice a week, they all had a similar pattern. They were all either consuming cheese, gluten, and red meat, mainly beef, and of course non-fibrous foods. So here's 6 of my favorite fibrous foods that increase your pooping power. Chia seeds, avocado, plums, raspberries, apples, and of course gluten-free organic oatmeal. Just a little side note, guys. One more thing that really causes irregular bowel movements and constipation is a bad peristalsis effect in our bowels. If you're wondering what peristalsis is, it's the constant contraction and relaxation of a muscle, which creates a wave. So when you swallow food, your esophagus actually creates a peristalsis effect, and it helps guide the food down. It doesn't just slide down, right? So our bowels do the same thing when we're eliminating feces. It does the peristalsis effect. So this effect can become very sluggish and lazy. So from the years of abuse, of course. So what we have to do is we have to incorporate foods that actually boost and revitalize that peristalsis effect. So there's so many products out there that claim to be a really good bowel cleanser, but really they're just laxatives, and that doesn't actually clean us out properly. It actually irritates the gut lining in our intestinal system and our bowels, and that's no good. However, there is an amazing product by Avena Originals called the Herb Cocktail. This is an amazing product because it contains active ingredients from some special herbs. Psyllium husk, of course, is one of them, which creates the bulk in the feces. There are some anti-inflammatories, the corn silk, the hibiscus, Siberian ginseng, but the main one is Cascara sagrada. And what this stuff does is it creates that peristalsis effect that I was talking about earlier. Our bowels become sluggish and slow and lazy. The Cascara sagrada promotes peristalsis again, so it revitalizes it and helps you poo regularly. So what works best for me, guys, is I take it before I go to bed. I take 2 teaspoons with a cup of orange juice. I shake it up in a mason jar and I drink it back as quickly as I can. If you let it sit for too long, it turns into a thick jelly. And that's what happens inside the body. It travels through the body in a thick jelly, and it pulls things out of the gut lining of the intestinal system, and it really cleanses you out. So the reason I take it before I go to bed is because my digestive system is relatively empty since it's been a few hours since dinner, and when I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to go. So that brings me to my last point today, guys, and one of the most interesting points: weight loss. Can you achieve weight loss from pooping more? Yes, you can. We hold a lot of weight in this area. Our bowels are full. And if we get a good bowel cleanser like the herb cocktail, we'll clean everything out, we'll flush everything out. The body will start to perk up and clean up properly. Our metabolism goes up, and we simply just shed the pounds. Technically, we shed pounds. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to leave a link in the description below for the herb cocktail if you want to give it a try. I highly recommend you do. And if you enjoyed this talk today, leave a comment in the comment section below. I'd be happy to answer any poop questions for you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.